Hello, welcome to the Dream Labs with Dr. Contrast Live. Good to have you on board, gang. And just want to start out here today with a little study here I put together. It's a little bit of a really fast series of sketches here. Just kind of do some testing with the media, what I'm going to work with, and see what's going to go all marker, combination materials, and the like. But this is going to be a study today on the F-22 Raptor. And before I begin, though, I wanted to take a moment. I really want to thank you for last Wednesday stream on doing some landscape work. It was a lot of fun. Went through a little bit of a portfolio with landscape architecture, some architecture exterior work, and some interior space, and just a nice cross-section of things to deal with. And the reason I brought that up is for future references. I'm going to be doing more of those things. I've got some programs I'm working on now. And once I get clearance on, let's go back to landscape architecture. So I really do like that discipline. It's a lot of fun to work with, and I do a lot of different things from in the design realm, for example, transportation, product design, architecture, interior space, logo development, a lot of fun. But I just want to take a moment for those of you who watched last week on that. It was interesting to really have you on board to look at that material. And some of the comments came back were very kind, and I really appreciate that. So all that being said, we're going to switch gears here and go from something that's very like landscape architecture, hardscape, softscape, to something very mechanical and brutal, F-22 Raptor. And I thought before I begin the study here, what I thought I'd do is I show you a little exercise I went through. For example, this upper sketch is a lot of media work in terms of Copic marker, a little bit of pastel, and some Prismacolor pencil work, and just getting the blushes down and getting the materials together. And notice the view selected here. I really liked the initial sketch I put together was this sketch actually, but it had a lot of high contrast, a lot of dark underbelly, kind of evil looking, and the rest of it is all surface work up on top. As I go through this, one thing I'm really going to stress for everybody when working with this thing is how really important it is to pay attention to the light source and what light source does. And that's why this whole underbody is dropped out in a high contrast, dark black. Really it's not. It's almost like the same military flat gray, but under shadow it really takes on that distinction. And some little detail work on some of the canards that sample and make a difference. And really keeping it very simple and throughout the entire process, light source and obeyed. Number two, simple surface work. And number three, a lot of drawing definition. I think that's one of the key things about illustration or design concept work is to keep it very fluid and at the same time compact, and especially a subject matter like this, to look believable, that it looks gutty. So I started here. This is where the multimedia piece was. And I said, well, is it going to go marker, pastel, pencil, or is it going to be all pencil? This is a little bit of pencil study down below here. And I didn't really like it. Didn't look as clean. So I just wanted to let you see how that's how I start some of these processes. For example, sometimes I'll go real blind and right in there and dive at it. But something as sensitive as this, I just took a moment and kind of backed out a little bit and said, oh, which way do I want to go? Do I want to go all marker base and then very little detail work with pastel and pencil, or go all pencil? So here we are. That started it. So what I did, I went ahead of time here. Let me get this out of the way here, guys. And we'll kind of remove it. Just a touch. This is the actual final composition. I'm going to work with this guy to get it all put together. So bear with me. I'm going to start blanking this thing in. One of the first thing I'm going to do, and I made a comment the other day in a class about the drawing and the rendering exercises. One of the things that really makes a huge difference in this whole process is to get the high contrast and combinations of high contrast and low contrast areas working in harmony. And the minute you put that all together, it really starts to take on a whole different concept in terms of what we're looking at. So high contrast gives you the confidence, and then the neutrals in between, put it all together and fill in the patches there. So let's kind of get at it here. We'll just pick up this pencil. I'm going to start, pen rather, start detailing in some of the high contrast areas here. Get these high contrast, get the underbody out of the way. That's the majority of it here. Take a little bit of time to get this inked in. So I just want to get the borders in. We'll kind of get the marker up and kind of go with it. Kind of fill it all in. Canopy reflection. And if you have any contact, oh, hey, Shadow, how you doing? Nice. That's some issue. Good to have you on board there, Shadow. Cool stuff, man. Thank you for taking the time, and really appreciate you fixing the camera system. It worked out really well. So thank you. Just going to lay in some real quick graphics here. So we get this underbody nailed in. Take advantage of some of these high contrast areas. Simple little inserts here. Body upper. A little more reflection in the glass as we go here. I think I can take a chance here and get most of this stuff blanked in pretty nicely now that I've got a pattern started here. I'll go back the other way. Pardon me. As I move this around, put this in place. And while we're at it, I'm just going to get this started here. I'm going to get the wingman beneath this machine in place as well. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. I'll look up every now and then and make sure I check the screen. Hopefully everything's going smoothly for you. First pass here. Let's take a look at this guy for a moment. Let's get this guy put in place. There we go. Starts here. Let's get this lower piece in place here and kind of bring them together. Just in here like that. There we go. Thank you. Back in the screen here. Just kind of block this thing in. Once we get this taken care of, it'll fly right through. We should be in great shape. So far, so good. What do you think, Shadow? You still there? All right, let's see if we can get this thing flying here. There we go. A little better to work with. Just an underbody, and we just come along nicely here. Just keep it nice and easy. Pinching things up here just a bit. All right, there's the first pass. Just getting some of the graphics set up here. Now we're going to high contrast out of the way. Come back in and get some of these surfaces to work for us here. Let's kind of get this tail section knocked in here, away from the light source. Drops that guy out a bit. Let's do the same thing down below. Knocks that form out. Make sure they're in good shape. Pardon me for moving the paper around. It really helps to kind of keep the whole process in order here. So I'm going to go back here. Now we're going to get the light source inside it. So it's going to go dark to light, and it's going to be up here like this. We're going to come in here with this guy. Let's go to a broader marker here. We get some more coverage here. Right on top of that nacelle. a lot of high contrast. That's exactly what's going to take place. Light source away from it, into light source, much, much lighter. So again, really interesting set of circumstances as we go here. I'm going to tone this in. Now, this is the fun part. We're going to take the body form and blush it all in one certain sort of form. Just come back in here and just take that same 3, up in the light source, run it through, save the pattern there, and just lightly kind of dust this in. Same thing here over the top of that. In the body form, into the nacelles, down the engines. Over the top, a little bit of highlight, into it, a little bit of highlight, into it. And again, shadow. Right away, this guy comes together very quickly. And we'll do the same thing down below. Notice how the contrast, I'll sort of bring it all together. Interesting set of circumstances here. Now, let's do the same thing up front. Let's get this wingman to work the same way. Save the highlight, come across, in the light source, number 3 gray. By the way, I'm working with Copic markers here. All cool grays, really nice system to work with. Keeps it honest, doesn't get too deep. Much. The warm grays are kind of, they're all right, but they're more of a, they're kind of pinkish or a beige tone, so they're not as really crisp. So my favorite is to work with this stuff. Really neat. It's a good process to work with. Now again, light source. Into the canard, into the light source. Some little subtle changes here. Let's take this number 5 gray. You get this little drop shadow here. Let's get that little insert piece there. Insert piece there. And one more pass with this gray. Gotta get that little offset here. We're gonna get this guy in place. A little deeper, real subtle. And this outboard edge. There it is. One more passing through here. I'm going to take this whole upper portion here. This is DRC special with 2 but 4 thrust factory nozzles. Yeah, this is it. All 4 thrusters. You got it. I'm a little bit lighter up through here. I'm just going to dance across this very lightly here to kind of keep it nice and easy. And then come back in a little more tone in here. Separate those shapes one to the other. There it is. Much better. Again, a little bit of shadow change here. Drop that in just a bit more. Over here, and then here. Let's do the same thing down below. Let's keep this a little bit deeper. Run that through, run that through. Then on top there, we got it. And for what it's worth, this is the number 5 gray, and get this canard to kind of read for us here. Again, very delicately with this pattern change up on top. A little bit of sneaking, a little bit of this behind this tail section here. Now, let's get these brows over the top of these thrusters. I'm going to do this. Drop in. I'm going to do this. Drop in. Okay, here we are, getting some of the nasal pieces in. There she is, coming along pretty nicely here. Just to kind of get things started. Let's go back down here and get the same thing going on with the wingman here. A little bit of subtle change here. Let's get these guys, nacelles in place. A little bit of time here. Drop in some of these other surfaces on the plate. All right, now we got a little bit of color to this guy. Let's get these things moving a little bit. A little bit of sky in this thing here. Let's got a little bit of canopy. back, have a little bit of cheer down below. Blend this out a little bit. Let's put a little bit of sky tone in this guy. Number 3 guy, well, we're getting there. What do you think, Shadow? Coming along all right? You still there? See that number 3 gray here. We should put a little bit of tone on the body side here. Hey, just working away, so yeah, cool. What was I here? Let's get a little conversation with this guy. Just add a little bit of this. Change here. Align that nose cone, bring it in there. There. So we can get that number 5 gray to punch this little insert piece here. Change the pace on the canard. This, a bit of a color blend in here. A bit of pastel added, kind of soften it off and just a touch. Some of this to kind of work a little bit here too as well. That's that. Get that in place here. Let's see if we can drop this. Just try a little bit more, a little bit subtle change of pace underneath here. Bring this back just a bit more. And one more pass here to get this little catch. So your mechanism here to read on the engine exhaust area here. That's better. It's not so prominent. It kicks it back just a bit more. I don't know, what do you think there, gang? Coming along all right? So far, so good. I think we've got some things going on here that are pretty interesting. So we'll go back and catch a little bit more tone here in this. Keep working this guy to kind of change a little bit of value. And just a little bit of this added. Now start to do some pencil detail work here. definition in these nacelles. Pretty tough area to work with here. So delicate. And I don't know. What do you think, gang? Just what I got it. That looked pretty decent as far as overall flavor. What do you think? Their shadows are going to make it, you think? I don't want to add any more contrast, so I think that reads pretty nicely. You get back from this thing, it kind of jumps a little bit, very fast. Hey, they look quick. Yeah, they should be quick. At $16 billion each, they ought to be, man. Let's see if we get this number 5 grade. Kind of see if we can spice this up just a bit here. A little better. All right, one more pass here. A little bit strong on that, so we'll kind of blend it back a little bit with a 3 or a 4. See what we can work with here. Scrub it in a little bit better. There you go. Oh, it's prominent. And a little bit of drawing definition in this guy here. That helps. Let's see if I can get this guy. One more pass here. Drop that value back just a bit more. Try to drop this back just a bit. Let me see if I can find a 4 here to get this out. Screen. There's a number 4. I got to drop this back. It's not as powerful. You see a little bit of it, not that strongly though. This is better. That's better. And it closes off the value a little bit more. Much better. Not as strong. Well, I just about think that's got it. It's an interesting little conversation here. Please, what do you think? I hear that picture. I can hear the picture. Oh, that's great. Hope it works for you here. I don't know. I hate to go any further with this. Let me just kind of clean up some line work here. Inside this can, I think there's a little bit more. A little bit of the sky tone to it, kind of tone it back a bit. It's a little better, not as strong. There we are, a little more sky tone up on top here. There. I'll tell you what, I think we've got it. It's, let's do a little bit of detail work here. Just see what we've got. The highlight side where those nacelles are. So we've got that will jump a little bit. That will jump. That and that. And across these rails. more drawing definition really helps. And one last pass here. I just don't be convinced that these guys look really simple. So we get a little more tone in there. That's better. And here, not as distinctive, but nonetheless, it's there. Across the top of that form. More shadow in here. And underneath. Much better. That's got more refinement. That's looking pretty good. What do you think there, gang? Here's the picture. That's great. That shadow. I don't know. I think that's going to probably do it. Might put a little bit of highlight in this thing. Probably have some temper here to work with. No, not really. I think I'm going to keep it nice and pure like that. It just says an awful lot about just the overall shape here. Doesn't need a lot of drama. It seems to be kind of complete on itself. It's going to take this number 3 gray inside this area here. It's better. And a little bit here. And lo and behold, I think we've got ourselves a finished composition here. Neat stuff. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of go back through and change gears a little bit and go from, again, here's my pencil study and my rough up on top there. And I think down below we got a pretty good example of where we are here with this thing. So there's the actual little concept sketch I put together prior to going to the stream today. And a little test pattern to make sure we've got the right value structure. And I thought going back in here, this is kind of neat, just kind of keep it that direct. And there you are. We've got that beauty all set to go. So anybody, any commentary at all? What do you think, Shadow? You're going to call this a wrap, get this thing all set up here. And kind of go to a website. That'd be kind of, oh, I think I do want to add this. Just notice something here. Let's get a little more core coming through the canopy here. That's better. All right, that should do it. Interesting thing, F22, who needs digital? No, I just pause it again. No, the digital thing, we can kind of go that route, it'd be kind of fun with it, but yeah, just to me, an awful lot of, let me do one last thing here. Make sure we get that underbelly. So it's kind of, when you put that black stain down, sometimes you'll get, it's pretty solid in some areas, and sometimes you pick up a little bit more skip on it, and it just kind of fades out a touch. Make sure a nice jet black underneath, a little bit of high contrast to work with here. So there we are. That's a little study on F22. A lot of fun. Hopefully that piece makes some sense for you here. Just again, just a simple composition in terms of the main machine and the wingman kind of going through the process of developing the little flight study here. And putting it all, let's get this, sorry about that, missed the spot right in here. There it is. Cool. Alrighty, so that gives me a little bit more texture to work with. I think overall, I'm pretty successful as far as I feel good about the concept. There's a nice, simple, high contrast piece. And again, what I said at the very beginning of the stream, I think really comes true here. This is a good exercise in understanding what light source does. It's a little bit scary sometimes to go to a deep shadow underneath, but that's what the underbelly is doing. There's going to be a lot of light there, not going to a lot of reflected light. It's going to go right out, it's going to drop right out. And phase 1 will give you that process. And then again, everything else is keeping it nice and subtle and combining the softness with the harshness. And I think that's what, to me, I've always been a firm believer in the fact that the whole idea for me is to really keep things under control by being extremely contrastful. High contrast gives you confidence. And this is what it really makes. It's a wild, very time. Making it work on a paper is a challenge. It really is. It really is a challenge. Shadow, well said. But the idea of having an understanding, and I'm still learning, don't misunderstand, I'm still learning about light source, what it does, how surfaces are actually treated. But I think the main thing for today was to really kind of go into an exercise that really demands extreme high contrast and how to control it, where to place it, to give the impact of a real solid composition here. So let's kind of close this thing out here, and we'll put a little bit of signature to it, and hopefully get this guy cranking on it. And here we go. That's it. Today's stream was a lot of fun. I think a little bit of a different pace in terms of content. but I still think valuable. As I said, from time to time, I really shift gears from session to session. I'll go through a variety of disciplines, for example, landscape architecture, interior space, maybe some teaching things. And guilty as charged. No, not guilty at all. But I think, and for future reference, I might just kind of jump around a little bit. I do that automatically from session to session, but I really do feel that it's interesting how when you change subject matter, it requires a different set of thinking processes or process involved in it. I might go from next week, I might just go to product design. I might do some empathic concept, speed form stuff. But if you have anything you want me to work on, those of you listening out there, please let me know. And be more than happy to comply and help you as best all I can. So wish you all the very best. And thank you very much for the time today. This is an interesting study in the F-22 Raptor. Very evil machine, and just one nice simple composition. I think we got it accomplished here. And again, please visit my website at drcontrast.com. There's some things on there we're adding to it as we go. Also, pardon me, as I go through that on drcontrast.com, there's a 9-step drawing process that might be of some interest to you. And store, Instagram, all my stuff, YouTube is on that as well. So please take a look at that. And last but not least, I really believe that, again, I can be reached at jim@drcontrast.com. If I can be of any help to you there, please drop me a note. If I can be of any assistance, happy to help you here. I'm always looking for subject matter too. If there are things you're working on that I can help you with and help myself as well along the way, I'd be more than happy to comply with that too. So again, drcontrast.com, the website, and jim@drcontrast for notation and maybe some requirements and some surface changes or idea changes to work the streams into. So again, all the very best. I thank you so much. And I always never forget to remember to do this, because I think it's the most important part of the whole stream. And it's simply this: never forget to remember to dare to be great, because you are. Thank you so much for the time. We'll see you next Wednesday with a little bit different storyline here. We change gears. And again, looking forward to having you on board again. And Shadow, cannot thank you enough for all the assistance that you've done over the last couple of hours. We had a little camera problem on the desk cam, and the Shadow Man jumped in there and by remote just kind of adjusted it. Amazing me how he does it, but he does it nonetheless. It was just terrific. And thank you so much, Shadow. Have a great day. All the very best, gang, and we'll see you next Wednesday, same time, 2 o'clock, 2:30 thereabouts. Thank you. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.